some legs without throwing up today.
I always start off my leg days with foam rolling my lower body. I also have incorporated using a lacrosse ball, especially on my glutes and the insertions there, just to help keep them nice and open. But I always start with both of my glutes, and foam rolling has been a huge game changer in opening up all of the muscles in my lower body and priming them to get in a really great lift. So I will go through each glute for about 15 to 30 seconds, depending on how good I'm feeling, or if they're super sore. If there are multiple knots, then I will sometimes just sit on those knots to release them and to release some of that soft tissue to really get my body prepared for a good lift. Once my glutes are rolled out and they're feeling good, I will move on to hamstrings. This lift does include all major muscle groups in the legs, quads, hamstrings, and glutes. So I'm definitely going to hit hamstrings and quads as well when I'm rolling out, just to release any tension, to release that soft tissue, and to get them prepared to lift fucking heavy today. So I'll spend about 15 to 30 seconds on each hamstring as well. Then I flip over and do the quads. I like to do quads in this position with my other knee almost to the side of the foam roller, allowing myself to roll back and forth. And the quads are one where I have to sit on certain knots in my quads just to get the release. As you can see there, I had to pause a little bit just to release out that tension. My bodywork specialist actually has me rolling out my glutes post lift as well. So I do use the lacrosse ball before and after for my glutes, which has really helped just open them up and make them pop, especially in my check in photos and in my back pose. So I've been incorporating both rolling out beforehand, which I've been doing forever, but more recently I've been rolling out afterwards as well. And it has helped so much. Another thing I started incorporating from my bodywork specialist is getting on the vibration plate post workout just to get all that lymph moving again and reducing inflammation. I felt that has helped greatly as well. Some people like to do it before their workout to get all the lymph moving, but I like to do it afterwards after I've lifted really heavy and have caused a lot of tears in the muscles and things like that. It does decrease inflammation, or so I've seen. But I go into a dynamic stretch after I foam roll all of my lower body, getting to open up the hips, opening up everything, making sure everything is nice and warm to lift. I've been using this stretch routine for years now, and I have been very much injury free. It has helped me open up the hips, it's helped me warm up the body, it's helped me really stretch out all of the lower body to prepare me for the lift as well. It's dynamic, so I'm moving through it. I'm not just static stretching. So the dynamic part of it does allow me to feel like I'm warming up, getting movement, getting blood flow a little bit better than just static stretching. After the stretch, I will go into a few core warm ups and core activation to help my lower back and to stay injury free. Again, I've used this warm up for years and I have not had an injury in my lower back for quite some time, knock on wood. I will go through about two sets, so two rounds of the static stretching and these core activation exercises with the bird dogs, about two sets of 10, and then these dead bugs as well. I'm not doing too many, so I'm not overly straining my core, but just enough to activate it to help prevent any injuries. Last on the list is a little bit of hip mobility where I do the 90-90 stretch to open up the hips and improve my hip mobility, especially because I'm going to be squatting today. So this is going to help my depth and range of motion on squat, lunges, any sort of movements like that. The first exercise we have up today is hamstring curls. Now, the order in which I do exercises is very important because I'm starting with hamstring curls because my hamstrings are one of my weak points. We want to grow them, make them pop, make them activate, especially prime them for upcoming squats. So that's why I'm doing hamstring curls first. So they're activated properly, so I know that they're working properly, especially when I go into my later exercises. Even if these are my first set and my first exercise of the whole leg day, I'm still going very close to failure. My coach has me at 0 reps in reserve for pretty much every single set. So I am training very close to failure, as you can see here in the video.
Moving on to squats, I have femurs that are miles long, so squatting for me is not my favorite, but of course, still have to do it. Still want to bring these legs up as much as possible as we continue to move through prep and keep density and keep mass on them while we diet down. So, squatting is one of those exercises that is really great for all glutes, legs, hamstrings, quads, all of it. So I'm getting down to that 90-degree angle and pushing right back up through my heels, making sure my knees are not moving over my toes. And especially on a Smith machine, it's important to set your feet up slightly in front of the bar just to prevent injuries or lower back injuries to stay safe as possible, as well as keeping those safety guards up because I am training by myself. I make sure I put all safety precautions in place before I get started. But these are till failure as well with 0 reps in reserve, so I'm going as close to failure as I possibly can. But looking back at this, I probably had another rep or two in the tank, so gonna fix that next leg day. Moving on to everyone's favorite exercise is the Bulgarian split squat. I am programmed to hold dumbbells in both of my hands to keep weight loaded on both sides of my working leg. The key here is to think about leading with your butt and sitting back down, not trying to lead with your chest or let your chest get too close to that working leg to make sure that glute is firing properly, to make sure I'm keeping tension within the glute and engaging and isolating the muscles that I need to be. Sometimes if we lean too far forward, we recruit certain muscle groups that we don't want to be recruiting or engaging. And this way, if I think sitting back and down, it's going to help me engage those proper muscles. These are also as close to failure as possible. You can see these later reps are slowing down, even getting a little bit wobbly. It is okay if your form kind of dwindles a little bit as you move through the set, especially those last few reps. But we don't want them to look like absolute dog shit. We still want them to look somewhat good. Next on the menu, we have leg extensions to isolate the quads. A little pro tip here is if you have lifting straps or grips, I use them on the leg extension machine just to hold myself down and keep my butt down in that seat as I'm moving through the leg extensions. As they're getting more tough, I'm able to keep my butt on the seat as much as possible instead of lifting up. These are also as close to failure as possible. As you see this set go on, my reps get longer and longer. You're going to see the world's longest leg extension here in a second, just because training until failure requires moving through each exercise probably not at the same speed as the first rep. And that's what it's going to look like here in a sec. So you'll see I start to go, they get slower and slower. I think this is my last rep. Yeah, it's definitely slowed down greatly. I was probably getting 3 reps in the same amount of time as it took me to get this last rep in. Last exercise of this leg day is the abduction machine. I do lean forward just to feel more glute med in this exercise. I tend to lean forward on these just because I feel more engagement that way. Again, I take these super slow as I'm coming back in and resisting that weight as much as possible. I try to take a small pause at the full range of motion to keep those glutes in tension as much as possible. Again, these are as close to failure as I can get. There is a rep range I'm supposed to be hitting in between these, but I will push until I can push no longer. And you can see these reps are getting more and more difficult. As you saw, I failed that last one, but that is it. That is leg day.